everyone, I am KristyLove, and today I have the pleasure of interviewing Hasani and Shelbie Ali. Together they are the Twin Flame Coalition. Today they'll be giving us advice on relationships, services they offer, and they'll be talking about their new book. Make sure you guys stay tuned. Meet Hasani and Shelbie Ali. They have decided to put their education, their passion, and their impeccable communication skills towards a cause they knew needed their attention. They specialize to provide spiritual purification practices to restore relationships to their optimum level.
As the founders of Twin Flame Coalition, it is our job to restore relationships to their optimum levels. So what that means is that we work together to find the best solutions, the best diet plans, the best spiritual practices, so that you can really optimize your relationship. Before we got married, we went on a 33-day liquid fast. So all we had were liquid soups, juices, smoothies, and each other. And during that time, we were butting heads so much that we almost didn't get married. But throughout the fast, we were able to start our purification process, resolve our issues, and find our purpose together so that we could make it to the altar and that we could make it to our 1-year anniversary so we could bring another life into this world. And we really realized that fasting really did electrify our relationship. So what we wanted to do was we wanted to start a company, we wanted to start a business, a brand to help exemplify that so that everyone could experience what we experienced.
Usually with teenage relationships, young adolescent relationships, it's all about infatuation. It was just, I like this person, we connect on some kind of level, we have common interests, but they don't evolve or grow to anything. We don't produce anything, we don't commit to anything. It's just, I like you enough to hang out with you, and that was it. And so as we kept going through in and out these relationships, once we found each other, we realized that we had a special gift, which was writing. I am a journalist. I've been published since I was 15. She was an author who published 3 books by the time she was 15. And so we made the decision to say, hey, we have something special. Let's create something together. I quit playing football for Central Michigan University. It's about spring of 2010, summer. Around that time, I had a summer job working in a factory. And during that whole time, I wondered what it would be like to be in a film. I had no reason why. I just kind of had a desire to experience being on film. And the funniest thing happened, I was on lunch break one day, and I was reading the newspaper, and there was a small little ad that said, "Attention football players, players needed for Disney film." And so I ended up being an extra in the film Touchback with Kurt Russell, Barry Sanders, and Brian Presley. And it was because I thought about it those days. I'm just lollygagging in the warehouse that opportunity actually came to me within present time. And
to me, it was never the law of attraction. It was always a mindset for me. And it was always something I'd had growing up. It drives him crazy how lucky I am that I just attract the things that I want. I'll be walking down the street like, oh God, I really want some lemonade, and we'll pass a lemonade stand. He's like, how do you do this?
What is going to keep you two together for the long haul? And that's the question that no one asks themselves. And once the relationship gets boring, gets stagnant, then we're already looking towards the exit door, rather than working out what needs to be done in order to keep the relationship going.
The reason I say communication first is because we think we're communicating with our partner. Sometimes our partner isn't listening. Sometimes we aren't communicating in a way for them to hear. And that's something we don't always take credit for. For example, we as women will sometimes talk to men as if they are women. We'll start to talk in circles. We'll say, well, this connects to this, to this, to this, to this, to this. And the men are just kind of like, I'm not exactly sure where you're going with this entire train of thought. And sometimes men are so blunt with women and so direct with women, it almost comes off as harsh or too rational or too real. And the women are like, I'm gonna need you to soften that up a little bit so that I can understand exactly what you're saying. And we have to take our own faults and our own understandings of what communication is so that we can communicate effectively with our partner. So we make sure that everyone's getting at least the minimum of what they need in order to sustain that relationship. So our purpose of writing this book was to prove the fact that fasting truly can electrify your love. It can make your love electric. How it does that is when you fast, you abstain from something. You abstain from certain foods, you abstain from solid foods, you abstain from food in general. And in this book, we list about 4 different types of fasts that you can try with your partner to achieve the results that you want to achieve in your relationship. Well, how does fasting get you to the results you want to achieve with your relationship? Think about how much time you spend a day thinking about food, digesting food, processing what you're going to do about food. What if you take food, especially toxic food that we've been conditioned to believe is okay to eat, junk foods, all the salts, all the starches, if we take it out of our diet, take it out of the equation, and we spend that time, we spend a couple of days focusing on our partner, letting our body detox, some things will happen. Some things will come out. Some things you're gonna have to deal with that you've been burying, more than likely with food, with alcohol, with cigarettes. There's other things that you've been burying within your relationship, and what fasting does is it really brings it out, forces you to deal with it. And now that you've dealt with it, you come out stronger. And the reason we wrote this book is so people could have that beginning foundation. Let's start from scratch. Like as soon as someone tells me they're getting married, I say, great, what kind of fast are you doing? Well, why do we need to fast? I need you to get all that out. You don't have to fast for 33 days like we did. We've been fasting for a couple of years, but at least a 3 to 5 day fast before you get married. Get some things out in the open, address them, and on that wedding day, you're going to see your partner in a different light, and it's going to be beautiful.
From a scientific standpoint, how food affects the brain and what those foods do in your system. For example, meat takes 8 to 12 hours to digest in your system, right? And so if you're eating pork for breakfast, a burger for lunch, and let's say a steak for dinner, because some people eat, have these type of diets, that's going to take 24 hours, if not more, to digest in your system. You know what I mean? And so if your body's spending all that time breaking that down, imagine how much energy it's reserving to do the other things.
What advice would I give newly engaged couples? And it's going to sound silly, it's going to sound cliche, but my honest question is going to be, where do you see yourself a year from now? And what do you see yourself doing? And a question my husband and I actually were discussing the other day was something that couples don't usually think about is, what type of business could you start together? You two are together. You obviously like each other a little bit. You're getting engaged. You want to spend the rest of your life with this person. Could you start a business with this person? Because that's what marriage is. That's what family is. That's what children and grandchildren are. It's a business and it's a structure, and it's something built on the foundation of love. Absolutely.
And if you think about what she's saying, that's where you get the term family business from. Because that's how you survive. Your economics is your sovereignty in this world. And so if you're literally with your partner for infatuation, for validation, just for someone to be home with that night, you can get that from anybody, to be frank. But what makes this person so special to you that you're willing to stay with them for a long duration of time, if not forever, so to speak? And so what we challenge to you is, what is your why? What is your why? Why are you with this person? If you don't have one, you better find out quick. Our workshops and our speaking engagements are where we're going to be able to get an entire room talking. Because not only are we speakers, but like she said, we're active listeners. We've named this the Twin Flame Coalition because we want people to join us in what works for everyone. We're learning things just how everyone else is learning things, and so we want a conversation. Yes, we're mediating the conversation or giving it the narrative, a particular narrative, but we want to hear from other people as well. So we will have workshops. We will have speaking engagements at different organizations.
TwinFlameCoalition.com. On TwinFlameCoalition.com, we have our blog set up where we post between 2 to 3 times a week. And we talk about ways to strengthen your relationship. We talk about vegan spots that we visited in and out of the city of Detroit. We talk about our relationship with our son. Right now, we're waiting for the next couple of days for our new son to come into the world. We'll be talking about that, because the relationship you have with your children is just as important as the relationship you have with your partner, and that is something you're going to have to learn to grow and build that foundation on. Whoever you have a relationship with, whoever you're trying to optimize your relationship with, whether it's your partner, your parents, your children, your coworkers, we can help you, because relationships all need to have the foundation of strong communication and just purity.